Hi, this is Chloe at innerwhispers.co.uk. I haven't been buying very many tarot decks recently. However, I did get in on the Kickstarter for the True Black Tarot, which, as you can see, matches its name by coming wrapped all in black, and even the kind of crinkly paper to protect the deck in transit was also pure black. So that's very much a big theme of the True Black Tarot. Shall we have a look at the amazing artwork inside? So today I'm excited to be unboxing what looks set to be a very high quality production deck. Let's take a look and see. So very nicely packaged. And so here we have the deck, the box, which is a magnetic flap, and it has this beautiful star pattern that goes all the way around. And inside, it is only in darkness that we see the stars. Lifting out a little package. On top is a little booklet, once again with this star map, which from my perspective, there you can see that it's kind of glittery almost, varnished. And so a little black and white image for each card. I guess it'll be the central image from the card itself, but the cards are more detailed with some keywords and ideas about the imagery in the deck, as well as additional artwork, chaos theory and Edward Lorenz. Okay, so it gives, above the magician lies a snippet of the southern hemisphere skies and constellations. Talks about astronomy. So yes, a little bit extra. At the start it talks about divination, and then yeah, straight into the cards. Further back. Remember to form thoughts into action that your ideas should live to see the world. So no spreads or anything like that, but hey, presumably you know how to use spreads by now. And if you don't, there are plenty of very good books on the subject. Let's dive into the cards. So it's advertised that these are hand blacked by the author, each deck. So you do have pure black and true black finely crafted artifacts. So a title card. And look at that. So we have the image that we kind of had suggested in the deck, booklet rather, but here with so much more detail. So we have the kind of shining image that emerges from the blackness, and then we also have these butterfly wings or a cosmic egg that's opening around this child that is in the sort of varnishing, which I believe the varnishing has been done on all of the majors, and doves floating up, the southern hemisphere, and so these things are supposed to represent, I think, the four suits, or perhaps that was in the magician. Anyhow, either way, you know, doves and eggs, lotus blossoms, there's a lot of beautiful imagery here, so even though it seems quite simple, there's a lot to work with. The magician, here we actually have some bright yellow, because this one was a very pale yellow, but quite suggestive. So yeah, and different hand symbols, but still very evocative. Our High Priestess, very calm. Oh, and look at that. So it's like there's waters around her, flowing around. Lovely. Did we hear it with him? It's the constellations. A lascivious sort of empress. To me, it doesn't speak so much of growing, but you know. And our emperor, I like the design around him, very sort of mathematical, structured, logical, and these sort of thought bubbles appearing from his head. You can see why it sort of says it's a timeless thing, because they're all just sort of wearing not even proper togas, so there's no indication of like the age through clothes. Yeah, lovely images and lovely colours. Here we have the lovers tied together, fire and water, up and down pyramids, rising together. And the cards are also, oh yeah, it's stuck together. I thought that was all missing. So the chariot, very dark wings behind him, and the white dove's holding something in front of his face. It's a curious image. Oh, when he's standing on, that's nice. Strength. So the cards are said to, ooh, snake, quite, instead of a lion there's a snake, quite challenging in some ways. Oh, and there's spears. So it's lovely that these kind of things appear in the light. You don't necessarily see them straight away. And the cards are on a very thick cardstock. They feel almost greasy. They are said to be splash resistant, not fully waterproof probably, but certainly splash resistant. And they are very soft, which is another thing. And they are pretty thick, but still flexible. I'm not sure how they'll shuffle. We'll see that in a moment. But yes, if you like your decks thick, this is definitely going to be one that will please you. It does certainly feel very durable. The Hermit. Interesting. Kind of almost a genderless figure. And waving grasses in the background. Oh wow. So this is the extra major, Destiny. Kind of like a Hindu god or something. Very dramatic. Then we have Justice. And the Hanged Man, with a kind of almost, I don't know, computer-ish symbolism around above him. And it almost looks like he's bleeding out golden blood in a field of golden wheat, held up by butterflies. Yeah, well, very interesting and different symbolism, that's for certain. Death with Chinese symbols and a key and a skull, a wolf and an armless person with a sword. I'm not sure how I feel about these, you know, no genitals kind of thing. I guess it makes it seem like a, I don't know, star race or alien creatures or whatever, but yeah. And yet, you know, also quite sexual in that we have the, you know, close-up naked torso, very cut and defined, and then, you know, naked breasts. You can't quite see nipple, but there's the intimation of it, I guess. So here we have Temperance with this red-haired angel and stars above in an almost yin-yang pattern, holding out a white thing, red hand, and a red thing in a white hand. Very dramatic colours, that's for sure. Our Devil, multiple hands and blackened out and whispering to be silent. Little. This is the Tower. I can see that in the breaking apart, I guess. Interesting that it's a female figure for this, yet short-haired. And this looks like a map of the world stretched out rather than in a globe. I could be completely wrong on that one. And, oh, a little fox or something around the person's feet. So, quite amazing artwork. Star, and like her dress is true black. Curious. Moon. Not sure about the hand. Oh right, this is her reaching into it and then we see it from a different perspective. That's quite an interesting touch. Perspective is everything. Is she scrying in a bowl? And the sun. So here the white dress to compare to the black dress of the star. Judgment. Ooh. Kind of streamers coming out. And the World. Very beautiful. Then we move on to the suits. Ace of Feathers. Two. Three. Plunging beneath the waters. I'm guessing the feathers are air. Let's have a quick look in the book. Oh no, these are wands. So these are wands. Then we'll have cups. Then we'll have swords, and then we'll have pentacles. So, Ace of Wands, inspiration, creativity, yeah, okay. Two of Wands, I guess there's the small and the large globe. Three of Wands. I don't really see the waiting for your ships to come in or the how much work you've done on a project already, but maybe diving deeper. Yeah. Four of Wands for the celebration, foundations, structure. Five of Wands, yes, you can see the sort of more battle-y side. Six of Wands, a lion for success. Has he eaten the person who's trying to go on safari to hunt him? Seven of Wands. Curious. Eight of Wands. A very different feel to it, I would say, because there's this one predominant wand with the other ones being very, very small indeed. Nine of Wands, very fierce and defensive. And 10 of Wands, a beetle carrying all of that stuff, plus another beetle. Certainly a lot to take on. Our Page of Wands, playing with a fire pit. Knight of Wands, quite lovely. There's no denying that the artwork is incredible. The colours go through the suit to make it quite obvious when you've got a mix of those cards. Though, I mean, the 9 has none of the yellow in it at all, which is an interesting choice. So, our gorgeous Queen and King. Nice crown. They've both got the same crown. There. Moving into the cups. Okay, so the gold colouring is here too. Traditional dove symbolism and overflowing water. Nicely done. The 2, we have 2 fish, which can represent souls. We also have a broken arrow. That's interesting, different perspective. And those cups, they could be sloshed together as, you know, when you're chinking glasses, but it does make it seem quite a lot of movement going on there. And that theme of movement within the emotions continues here. Water splashing up out of the cups. The 4 of Cups, far more tranquil. Very beautiful little leaves coming down and what looks like a flower or something, dropping little bits into the cup. Oh my. One smashed cup and the others look like they're breaking too in the 5 of Cups. Much gentler feel to the 6, naturally. Oh wow, and a fairy tale palace in the 7. How many things we can imagine. All animals in the other ones, except for the steam rising up out of this one that holds the huge castle. That's lovely. 8, very under the sea kind of feel to it with light from above. Charming. So is this you rising up to a greater truth? Ah. The artwork is extremely accomplished. This 9, there's some that's wine, some that's gold and stuff, some golden apples and a fox. So there's plenty of symbolism here, and yet a lot of it is quite different. The 10 of Cups, a little bouquet of white flowers, and yet also, I don't know, a thorny crown, circlet, basket. Our page has a beautiful little rabbit on her shoulder and some fish above. A masculine knight this time with a sword, which is over the cup. Our Queen with lots of fish, dark and light, and some golden ones up there. And our King with an octopus or squid and a very lovely shell. Moving into the swords, beautiful golden roses around it, and a flaming wreath, laurel wreath at the top. Oh, these ones are very cracked, and there's a paper. I can see it, it's, I don't know, very different feel to it to what I associate with the 2 of Swords, but that's fine. It's nice to have something to spark a different perspective in yourself. Oh wow, that's almost like a, I don't know, a pastel yet beating heart, quite anatomical. You can see the tubes that have been cut. 4, oh, almost like an obsidian blade. A knapped knife from stone. 5, a golden kind of blade that for harvesting. And cobwebby swords in the 6 with, are those boats? Maybe several boats sort of below. Very different, very interesting. A 7, don't stab the mouse. And these are ripping through a dark cloth. So I guess there you see sort of the sneakiness. For me, I don't know, I do have this thing about the 7 being about gathering up ideas, and that is lost in this one, though I guess could be, you know, a wrap for a scientific experiment. Yeah. 8 of Swords. There isn't really a trapped feeling here. Interesting. Oh my. 9 of Swords. Yes, nightmarish. And 10 of Swords. Oh, so many dead birds. It's quite a... It's interesting because even though this isn't, you know, someone bleeding out horribly, it almost feels harsher. So much death. And yet there is the one bird that, you know, is shining and alive. So the new hope, the new dawn is definitely there too. Our Page of Swords. Interesting. Tangled up and yet trying to cut his way upwards, perhaps. I love the Knight of Swords. He's great. Strong, kicking up his heels. Shining blades, definitely ready for it. Queen of Swords. It almost looks like that one is piercing her hand. And this one she isn't grasping. Butterflies rising up. Curious. And the King of Swords, look at that dark, dark hair across his face. And it's almost like a hole in his chest. Yes, the swords, and this one is almost buried in the earth. The swords are quite harsh. Then Pentacles, hard work, manual work, and a lion on the golden coin. Here we have a fish on that one, can't really see that one, and I'm not sure if it's a ferret or a stoat, something of the kind. So yeah, and the Balance. 3, that managed to water a plant to grow it. Teamwork. 4, look at these beautiful blue butterflies. And yet the pentacles seem like they're going into the earth and they seem, I don't know, cracked, or there's stuff growing over them, a maze pattern on them, that locked-inness. And the butterflies are all in this spider web. 5, losing your money, it's breaking apart, it's not even golden and your purse is ripped. 6, it's weird because it doesn't look like the 6, there's only 3 that shine. There's a 4th here, and is this 2 that are folded over? Could be. The 6 aren't obvious, and yet maybe that you grow from something little into something wonderful, possibly. 7, much more kind of traditional feel. Harvest. 8, great big hammer again. So yes, the apprenticeship aspect, and these ones have the star pattern on them and they get brighter and brighter as you move up. That's rather nice. A lovely lynx, I think, with a mouse and 2 birds. 9 of Pentacles, so that's the figure that has all of this, perhaps. And a lovely elephant for the 10. That feeling of legacy, of enduring nature. I really like this playful page as well, swinging along the vines, reaching for a coin. Knight is certainly not moving, very rigid. The Queen with a sort of Ouroboros circlet and a snake above and a bird. And the King. The antlers have broken away. He has them, but he doesn't have to be weighed down by them. And a great big mallet or something. He can still get the work done. And finally, an ant with a sort of embryo within a snake coil. So interesting. You can add those in, take them out, in terms of shuffling, I almost feel like I don't know where to start. So the backs have this lovely design. You can't hold the whole lot in one hand, that's for sure, not that way around. You can do it this way, so that's probably the way I'm going to shuffle it this most. And we can also have a go at riffling. Not sure how well this all will work. It's literally like having 2 decks in your hand. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. Some people may be able to do a kind of drop shuffle. I'm really not finding that possible at all in either direction. So for me, the only way to shuffle this is, only feasible way is this, hand over hand, sort of vertically rather than horizontally. And I may do something else to kind of, yeah. So the durability and the extra thickness, some people love it. Personally, I find it makes it very hard to consider how to shuffle. So for me, this deck is very difficult to shuffle. Beautiful, strong, resistant, yes. Some very interesting imagery, yes. Fabulous colours and striking, absolutely. And you know, shuffling like this, as you can see, is working fine. It just takes a bit longer. So let's just go for a quick King of Swords. So perhaps I need to be a little bit less judgy about this and wait and see. So this is the True Black Tarot.